Good afternoon, America, and welcome to the Author's Quill. I hope everyone's having a wonderful afternoon today and are out, listening to us on whichever millions of venues you can listen to us on these days. And I got to say, people, the internet is a marvelous thing because you can be in your car, you can be on your bike, you can be walking down the street. Doesn't matter where you can be in the middle of the freaking woods and listen to us these days. It is fact. I was out with some friends a couple months ago, and we were in a forest in Florida, and cell signal there is sketchy at best, but most of the forest, I was listening to the station, and when I lost it, I hooked up my sat phone and instantly picked it back up. So really and truly, as far as I can tell, there is nowhere in this planet you cannot listen to United Public Radio if you have a sat phone. Nowhere. Hell, matter of fact, if you got a sat phone, you could listen to us from the moon. Yes, how you like that? We could be the first radio network heard on the moon.
That'd be pretty good.
It's the more I look at the range the station has, it's weird because it's complicated in a way that there's so much stuff that's just interwoven and connected together. And what's happened to us, and which we've been really lucky for, is like we'll get a base server somewhere. Like we'll use Hong Kong for an example. So we got Hong Kong about 25 years ago, 24 years ago. And because of them, we got mainland China, but not just mainland China. It helped us to get into Europe in a much more prevalent way because you could actually listen to our broadcast from Hong Kong in parts of Europe. So it was just like a springboard. So every time we pick up a new server, it generally generates a little town, a little city, a big city, a group of people, an organization. I mean, I forgot now. Frank was telling me the other day we're like elevator music in all kind of places now. There's a lab at CERN, yes. Yeah, Gene, that's what they call it, the Chuckle Lab. They listen to us in it, yeah. Yeah, the guy wrote a really nice letter. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he asked us if we published the letter not to post his name. Yeah. I don't know who he was listening to that day. He was listening to something paranormal, I'll tell you that. I don't know what it was. He was This is the guy running CERN, man. Scares me just thinking about it. Oh, no. Y'all know who John is. I mean, give me a break. No, we're waiting on our guest. Bucks should be here. I'll send him another link again here in a second. Carmen. Oh, you mean Carmen, the guy who does guest acquisitions for us. Yeah, he's strange. I agree with you.
Joe.
He's definitely like...
Joe.
I love Carmen. Carmen knows I love him. It's, no, but he's strange. You can't deny that. There's no
Joe.
He'll tell you I'm strange too, so don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're being criticized. Huh? Oh no, this is Carmen in his real self. Let me show y'all right quick. There he is. Look at that. You see, that's what he really looks like when he's doing his business. Yeah, it's a good thing he's not watching. Hey, Buck, how you doing?
You know he's not
man.
watching.
Buck, you sideways, brother. You're killing me. You're giving me crick neck. There we go. Oh, man, much better. Let's get him up here on the screen with us. Oh, wait, man. Sorry, guys. I forgot we were still on little screens. Oh, that's much better. There we go.
Wow. Okay, there we go.
There, now it's me.
Yes, there we go.
Scared you for a bit.
Oh,
some imposter sitting down there.
Exactly, my fedora.
Well,
yes.
Welcome to the show. It's
thank you.
Weird seeing y'all sideways like that, but weird happens around here. It's always John's fault, though. We were playing.
Joe, you're batting 1,000 right now, Joe.
I'm just saying. Jack. No, actually, yeah, I should be there. I thought I seen my thing from Dragon Con the other day. I have not looked today, but I thought it was already in my mail. No, I haven't seen John in a while. I got to get my fix. Yeah. No, I should be there. So if you're coming down, well, if you're going to buy a ticket, you better go ahead and buy one because they sometimes sell out. And on certain days, they almost always sell out. So you better get one now. They're only 2 weeks, man. I mean, it's not even that. It's like 10 days, 9 days. It's close.
Yeah, and then we're going to be seeing this gent here, this ornery looking fellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, in just a week right after Dragon Con, we're going to be going to Kanab, Utah for the Wild West Fest that he's sponsoring. I love anything and everything cowboy. So I'm just so looking forward to having a good time with Buck and his Wild West Fest, which I
love
I wanted
it.
to be on the show here so we could talk about it. Anybody that's near southern Utah, like Las Vegas, and anywhere in northern Nevada or throughout Utah. I'm here in Los Angeles, going to be going there to the Wild West Fest.
We got some friends down at Area 51 that listen to us. Why don't y'all come on up? I know some of y'all are cowboys, so why don't y'all come on up from Area 51, take a listen, come hang out with John and Buck. You don't have to tell me you're from Area 51. Just come up and hang out. Say hi. Y'all need to get out anyway, people. Y'all get stuck down there for too long. It starts whapping your brains around and stuff. It's no, I'm serious. No, Jack. No, we do have no people down there. I wasn't joking. Yeah, we've had many people writing. We've actually had people calling from there. It's kind of weird. Yeah, you always get a security bump when you get a call from there. It's a strange phenomena. So, Buck, man, what is it you do? Tell me.
What do I?
John,
What don't I do? All right. You get a little background on me. Ironically, I have two strange career opportunities in my life. One was to be a Disney animator, where your hands are precious.
Yes.
And then I became a Hollywood stuntman, where your hands get racked up a time or two or three.
Yeah, that's what
but I can still draw, and both with a pencil and a gun. I'm just, I was supposed to retire many, many moons ago, and things just keep popping up, and opportunities and challenges. That's what I love. And here in Kanab, Utah, Little Hollywood, dubbed that by director William Wellman in 1940. It is such a unique area. It's gorgeous. I mean, not only for Westerns, but even Planet of the Apes was filmed here.
Yeah.
So being that there used to be an event up here called Western Legends Roundup, which I did for 19 years, things change. Well, a lot of the people in town saw that as not a fun change. So the help of some of the locals here in town, we're putting it back together, and it's going to be a whole Wild West celebration, basically keeping the heritage and the legacy of Little Hollywood alive for Kanab, Utah, this little town.
No, I got to say, so far, I've been in quite a few places in Utah. I really like the place. I know I'm sure there's some dirty, nasty hole-in-the-wall towns, but I've been fortunate I haven't found any yet. I found some ghost towns. A friend of mine, Nathan, took me around. He wanted me to I was lecturing somewhere in Utah, and he wanted me to go down to Area 51, so he had to take me to go visit some ghost towns on the way. But y'all got a lot of pretty towns. Y'all got fabulous skies. What do y'all have, like 8 of the 10 dark sky parks? It's ridiculous how many dark sky parks Utah has. I know there's one in Moab. They're all over the place, but we stopped somewhere between.
Why don't you define what a dark sky park is for people that don't know?
If you don't know what dark sky park is, people, it's where you can go and sit and see the Milky Way in its entirety just by looking up in the sky with no apparatus of any kind. It's there. It's like you could reach up and almost stick your hand in the Milky Way. It's a fabulous sky. It's only a few places on Earth you're going to see it like that. Utah happens to be one of them. You're going to have to go to Hawaii to really see it any better than that. And if you want to see it better in Hawaii, you're going to have to go down to South America somewhere, Argentina. The skies are beautiful, though. I mean, we were out there sitting somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Utah, about 150 miles from Area 51, still 100 miles from where we were going. And it was dark, it was black, and you could see the sky from everywhere, except for you seen one little glow off in the distance. And where you seen that little glow, you seen a trail of little white dots headed there. Of course, we all know that was Las Vegas, but still. It was crazy. I got to say, it's really pretty there. And, Moab, my wife fell in love with Moab. I don't know why she did, but she fell in love with the place. And then Salt Lake City's always fun. And I've been to Perdump a couple times. I go back and forth on that one. And a few other places besides that. So man, just outright Western. We don't even get to see that where I live. I live in Mississippi. We don't, there's nothing Western out here. It's kind of boring, actually.
But anyway, so with Buck, we met originally back in 2011 or 12 when was it Mesa or Tempe, Arizona?
Actually, it was the Glendale, Phoenix area.
Glendale. Okay, good. Yeah. He had a Western festival there too that we originally met him at, and he does a lot of reenactments, and we actually did a show there. We had a performance there of the Toughest Ranger, and so he was in it. He's been in our show a couple times there at that festival, and then we did another one in Scottsdale. Is that where the one at
It was in Scottsdale. We did Reign of the Gila Monster.
Yeah, Reign of the Monster there, and you've done 2 or 3 shows.
I believe, 3 shows, I believe. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, exactly. Oh, and just real quick, I'm having a real hard time hearing our host over there. John, I can hear you beautifully. I don't know how his level is set, but
it's not. He just assumes everybody's going to listen really hard to hear him.
There you go. There you go. Well, remind him that I've had 12 or 13 concussions in my life. So,
oh man,
I got that for an excuse.
I can get closer to the mic. It's for some reason we got a little background noise in here because it's like 112 today, so it's probably got 3 different ACs running. It's well, in the studio, unfortunately, it gets really hot, so we have the main ACs that run, but they got a window AC and then they got an in-wall AC that also run because the computers generate a lot of heat, and but so it's just how it is sometimes. But man, I wish I could come out and see y'all. It sounds like it's going to be a blast out there.
It is a lot of fun.
A little bit of everything for everyone. It started out on kind of a smaller level with just being there's a museum up here called Little Hollywood, and that's where John and Emily will be set up, promoting and really promoting that whole 90th anniversary for El Ron. And but then we'll be at a historic Redstone Theater, which John and Emily will be at, and I'm going to present them with something. Don't tell them.
It's a secret. It's a secret. Don't let me know.
Yeah. We'll get them on. We're going to get them on stage. So yeah. But I invite everyone to come out. We almost call it. I coined a phrase years ago. History meets Hollywood, and that's pretty much what it's about out here because we are inundated with real cowboys here in southern Utah. And then when Hollywood came to town, they brought the Hollywood cowboys. So. And so many of these people in this town, it's very interesting, have been in movies. I mean, countless movies as extras, stuntmen, providing cattle, horses, backgrounds, ranches. Pretty amazing. You need to put that on your bucket list. No pun intended, but yeah.
I wish I could get out there. I would really probably enjoy it being out there. Besides, like I said, I like Utah anyway, so it's a good excuse to go.
I mean, I've just checked to see like what movies were filmed in Kanab. So there's The Outlaw Josie Wales, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, How the West Was Won, Planet of the Apes, McKenna's Gold, Sergeant's 3, The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again, Stagecoach, The Big Trail, The Lone Ranger, Gunsmoke, Daniel Boone. That's amazing, the stuff that's been filmed up there.
It has been, I think, 115 Westerns filmed here. And, some of the exterior shots for the original Gunsmoke were out here. Westward the Women, which was a classic Robert Taylor movie. And ironically, I love trivia. It was an MGM film, and there are only 3 movies that Leo the Lion does not roar in at the beginning. So one is Westward the Women. The other was, I can't remember the second one, but the other was Ben-Hur. So, it has got a legacy. And when you come out, you can actually visit a lot of these filming locations, and you can look around and go, this looks familiar. So,
and we stay at that hotel, the Motor Hotel, and each room has a different plate on it, which was the different actor that filmed movies out there. And so it's amazing. What's the name of that hotel? It's
called the Perry Lodge, and they'll be housing some of our celebs coming in, the likes of Darby Hinton, who's still acting today. He was actually a little boy in Daniel Boone. And we've got Mitch Vogel, who was Jamie on Bonanza. And of course, on Thursday night, we're going to show the classic movie Tombstone, everyone's favorite, from 1993. And a good friend of mine, and I understand you might be talking to him pretty soon, His name is Peter Sherayko, and he played Texas Jack Vermillion.
Yeah, he
in
comes on the
Tombstone.
next. He's the next hour here on this one. On
He
the
is.
show.
He is. You're
Yeah.
going to get back-to-back hats is what you're going to get.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. But just so you know, the on that Perry Lodge, I just pulled it up. The people that stayed there in the Perry Lodge when they were filming, John Wayne, Frank Sinatra, Clint Eastwood, Gregory Peck, Maureen O'Hara, Ronald Reagan, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., James Garner, Roy Rogers, Tyrone Power, Omar Sharif, and Ann Baxter. And you go around and there's nameplates in all the different doors to each of the different rooms. And they're very humble rooms. They're not fancy things, but these were made, this was made in the 1940s, whatever it was. But it's just, they were there and that's where they stayed when they were filming the movies. It's amazing. You see these little nameplates over the doors when I don't know if that's the room that they stayed in, but that's the room that has their nameplate on the door.
Yeah, they tried to designate. Of course, over the years, people would have stayed in the same rooms, but they tried to be true to it. That like the John Wayne room, that was actually his room, and he wanted to be close to the pool, but there was no pool at the time, and he actually paid for half of that pool to be built.
Wow!
Because he said, we're working out here in the hot sun, and we need a place to jump into afterwards. So he made a deal with him and said he would do that. So. Yeah, and there's, like I said, when you're walking around town, you run into some older folks and stuff, and ask them to tell you a few stories, and there are a million of them, with just close encounters, and it was amazing. And it all started literally in 1924 with the classic silent film star Tom Mix when he did The Deadwood Coach, and he told the Perry brothers. It had just a little cottage at the time. He says, Hollywood needs to know about this. And they took their Brownie camera and they hit the road and they went knocking on doors at all those studios. And before you knew it, film after film after film started coming here. So, and with tax incentives being better again in Utah, it's actually looking like we're going to start getting some more movies right here in the area.
Yeah, I was wondering, because it's a gorgeous area that hasn't changed, the beautiful red rock and all that stuff there, that just the pristine look, and just when the evening sunset and the morning sunrise are just amazing against those rocks. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, and what's great is within 5 or 8 miles, the terrain changes. It goes from the Vermilion Cliffs to the limestone rocks to the hoodoos. That's why John Carter, the sci-fi movie, they filmed a lot of that. Some of Star Wars was actually filmed out at Pink Sand Dunes. So, and its proximity to Hollywood, Los Angeles, that's what made it inviting for people. So, yeah, come on out.
And you're just like a hop, skip, and jump away from the Grand Canyon, too.
Pretty much from the North Rim, and then Zion, Bright.
Yeah, Zion's
so,
beautiful.
You come up for the fest, spend an extra day or two and take a little road trip here and there. My God, we've got, I think, 25 hotel room nights. And, of course, the Perry Lodge. I would recommend there.
Yeah.
That was my commercial for the Perry Lodge right there.
Okay, good.
Tell them we're sending them a bill.
Okay, exactly. I'll have my check in the mail momentarily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is when we originally met Buck, we were there because we were releasing stories from the Golden Age, and that was like these different books that we've got,
Yes.
The Westerns. Yep. And so it's interesting because right now, part of the enthusiasm on getting Buck on and doing this Wild West Festival and other guests that we've had on is that 2026 is the 90th anniversary of L. Ron Hubbard entering the Western genre.
Yeah.
And so we're doing this Sunday, we're doing another performance of the Toughest Ranger. We're doing Jim Meskimen is directing and featured in that one there. And he's a regular in the Landman TV series.
The guy is amazing.
Totally amazing. Yes. Yeah. But anyway, so we did all these shows there and met so many friends that we've had for all the years since then, including Buck and his beautiful wife, Miss Tammy. And So it's great coming back there and seeing you all again and other people. And just when we go to the Western Show in Las Vegas, we'll sell 1,400 books over that period of that convention.
Wonderful.
And so we're looking forward to selling a bunch of books there too. People getting familiar with L. Ron Hubbard as a Western writer. They're not familiar with that. They're familiar with his science fiction, or they're familiar with his Dianetics or Scientology, but they're not familiar with his Westerns. And like what True West magazine says, like, you know, if you like Louis Moore or Zane Grey, you're going to like Hubbard. So, which is great.
And I got to tell you, I had a little staff meeting, best staff meeting the other day, and some other people were there on board. And I mentioned that you were coming out, and, you know, a little bit about it. I said, did you know that, you know, L. Ron Hubbard was, to me, one of the top three, you know, Western writers, pulp fiction, whatever you want to call it. And I would say 3/4 of them go, oh, I've got some of his books. I said, well, now you can get some more. So it's always nice to see that. And actually, one worked at the library and said, oh my gosh, his work is amazing. You know, so
that's great.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can bring you an audience for that.
That'd be good. I'm looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that. And we've been really pumping up your show and also the Western Writers of America, of which our next hour's guest is a member of as well. He's also Western Writers of America. But and I just got word this morning, everybody listening, this is great news. The Writers of Future podcast hit #1 on top fiction writing podcasts in the United States. And so I'm putting together a press release to go out on that. We just found out about an hour ago. So I'm super chuffed about that.
Congrats. Well deserved. I will concur. Yeah.
Yeah. It only took 7 years to get that far, but I finally made it.
Hop, skip, and a jump. That's all.
Yes. Yeah. So now tell me about the Wild West Fest. How does a person find out about it? Where do they go? How much does it cost? All that kind of stuff. What can they look forward to?
So basically, it's a free event for the public.
That's a
and you can go to littlehollywoodwildwestfest.com, or you can find us on Facebook under littlehollywoodwildwestfest.com. Not .com, but on the Facebook page. So basically, going in to meet the stars, free of charge. You know, collect some autographs. You know, get some selfies taken, and then we have some live music outside, free of charge. And this is within the museum grounds, because when you go back into Little Hollywood, the museum, there's a really great gift shop, and then you enter where all the sets are at. And one of the most notable sets in there, you mentioned Outlaw Josie Wales, is the cabin, the adobe cabin that used to be down in Kanab Canyon, way down at the riverbed. And they picked it up and moved it so you can actually walk in where Mr. Eastwood or Josie Wales, you know, called his home for a while. And here's a secret about it. It was so easy to get out of there because it's not made of adobe. It's made out of fiberglass. So it just kind of piece it together and they put it back together. Then you're going to see my Wild West shows free of charge. Go down the road or street a little bit. You're going to have the Perry Lodge at the Perry Barn. And that barn, actually, when they were filming The Lone Ranger, the movie Lone Ranger in 1956, that's where Silver and Scout were kept, the Lone Ranger and Tonto's horses. Now it is a small indoor theater. And go a little farther down, just hop, skip, and a jump, literally across the street, a big quilt show, hundreds and hundreds of handmade quilts. And then the only events that are ticketed, if you will, would be the two at the Redstone Theater, the Thursday night movie Tombstone with Peter Sherayko, and then the Friday night panel Q&A with the Westfest stars, and then followed by, and I might have gotten this idea from you. I do an old-time radio show, and it's called Little Hollywood Rides Again. So we've got a cast of fun characters, everyone from Sylvester Stallone calling in, Kermit the Frog, even Billy Bob Thornton as Sling Blade, which I can do that. And that is where we'll be seeing you and Emily. And the tickets for those are $10 a piece. And then the big finale, the final scene, will be the Saturday night dinner with the Wild West Fest stars. It's a chuck wagon dinner that's indoors. So it's, climate controlled, and that is Saturday night. And all those tickets can be found on the website. You just hit buy tickets here and you're good to go.
Good. Now,
That was my
Carmen,
nickel tour.
good. Thank you. So like, Carmen was saying that he sent somewhere is the link to the Wild West Fest. I'm trying to find it here so we can put it up here on the Chiron. So I'm just looking to see what it is so that people can go and find it.
Don't ask me. You might want to go down the street and find a 5-year-old kid. He could probably show you where it's at. So those are my tech people.
It's probably in the emails.
Yeah. So what's been your most fun movie? Because you're a stuntman. So what's been the most memorable or most fun, whether it made it into the actual movie or not?
Yeah. My most memorable was the first big gag that I ever did, and I wasn't slated to do it. It was a movie came out in the 80s, and it was called, oh, there you are. It was called The Long Riders. And it was actually somewhat of an indie film and is now rated as one of the top 10 Westerns ever made. It's about the James Younger gang, and it starred a cast of brothers. So you had the Carradine brothers, you had the Keach brothers, you had the Bottoms brothers, you had the Quaid brothers, on and on and on. And I was just there for doing auxiliary stunts, that's what they call it. And all of a sudden, that's me running on top of the train, for Bobby Carradine, a moving train. I'd never done it in my life, but when you're young, stuntman, and not as smart as you are now, you say, sure, I can do that.
Yeah,
well, I survived, and then
that wasn't one of your 13 concussions?
That was, yeah. I didn't fall, so it wasn't my concussion, no. And fortunately, most of my concussions were given to me by someone or something else, okay? Either whether it be a horse or another stuntman. But I was all in, because stuntmen never get to see their face, okay? It's just you might get a glimpse of a side shot. And, but I was in Back to the Future 3, and I could actually see myself as an Indian chasing the DeLorean in Monument Valley in Utah. So half of my face is painted white, half of it's me. But that was a really fun thing because there were so many of us. There were, I think, 90 riders for that. And but I've had great memories, and stories, meeting people like Clint Eastwood and Tom Selleck and Ben Johnson and Slim Pickens and all the classics, even Glenn Ford. So
oh, that's cool.
And I'm still working from time to time. And they actually had me do some acting recently, and that's why I took stunt work. It was so much easier than remembering lines.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So now you do a lot of when I've seen you before, you do a lot of shooting. I mean, you're obviously shooting blanks.
Right.
But is that also where you're out there in Canam? Do you do hunting and stuff? Is that something that you do out there?
Up here and stuff, I haven't had a chance to do that. But yeah, I think my dad made me an NRA member when I was, I think I was 7 years old, the youngest you could be. And so, in fact, I'm looking across the room here, and there's the first little 22 pistol that I had, a Frontier 6. So, yeah, I mean, I like to get out. I've spent my whole life, hiking with my dad, and so yeah, the outdoors, and living up here now compared to Phoenix, I can look out to these Vermilion Cliffs, and it's just breathtaking. It's like looking at a postcard. So yeah, I try to keep busy, even though I'm really old in stuntman words. I shouldn't be doing stunts anymore, but there's a few. Now, I will not run on a moving train now. Maybe one at the mall. I would do that one.
How about a slow motion one?
Yeah, that I might do. Yeah.
Or you could be standing on one of those moving pictures, the movies behind there, and you're like, you run in place, and it's like it makes it like the speeding train underneath you.
Exactly. Oh, I tell you,
there's Peter Sherayko, Joe. That's the guy, the second from the right. He's the guy who'll be our guest coming up in the next hour.
That's the gentleman right there. Yes. And he will probably look almost just like that when you talk to him. I know Peter, you know. So yeah, we've got a nice lineup. Patrick Wayne, John Wayne's son, you know, and Rudy Ramos, who is now, his new claim to fame is Yellowstone. When they originally cast him for that, they only cast him for I think 3 small episodes, and he's done 30, 35 episodes now, you know.
Cool.
And he's just a really interesting and nice man. And all the people we have coming, we'll take the time just to chat with you, you know, which is nice. So, yeah, you're just scrolling right through there. Look at that.
Yeah, well, once we have the website, we have access, so we can. It's one of the nice things about the way we do radio and TV now. You can put everything where everybody can see it. And you know, you can go through and click whatever you want to click. It's just interesting. I'm just listening to y'all talking. I was just scrolling. We're going to scroll through that. Let's go. Oh, entertainment. Here we go. What's we got here?
Oh, there I am. Look at that. I'll be blowing something up too. So I always do that.
You always blow stuff up.
Man,
I
that's my
always
own heart.
blow stuff up. I mean, yeah, I'm not the best role model for children necessarily, but yeah, I tell people all the time. I said you have to grow old, but you never have to grow up. So and that's me. I'm the poster child
when he
for
did his shows in the Wild Western Festival in Arizona, he always did this reenactment of, you know, where he had to do something where they at least shot 1,000 different blanks between all the different cowboys, and one thing where somebody gets locked in the jail and they had to break him out, so they always had to put the dynamite there on the block and blow it up so he could escape, and another shootout. And
yeah. I mean, my shows were expensive to do. They still are. So blanks aren't cheap, you know. But we've got a lot of that. Like I said, the barn full of some amazing poets and storytellers. That's always been a legacy up here for Kanab. It's always been a hub for cowboy poets. And I just finished doing a lineup of all of the local talent that is up here, which is pretty amazing, you know. And I'm blessed to have these people around me and such. So, yeah.
You know, that should be America's motto. Let's blow some shit up. It's, I mean, as a country, we just like to blow shit up. Let's be honest about it. At least
Joe definitely does. So you guys can bond on that one.
Most men I know like blowing shit up. I'm just saying. We wouldn't sell so many fireworks every year. We didn't like blowing stuff up. It's like part of our heritage or something.
Yeah, I had Kellen Cutsworth, who's the executive director. He's been a guest on this, right, Joe? On the show? Yeah, we had him on a few weeks ago. And he came to LA and he spoke at an event launching the 90th anniversary. And he sent me a picture because Emily and I went to the Hollywood Bowl for the Beach Boys concert, and which was great. And then he sent a picture of himself. And I was like, what is that? And he had this mountain that he was sitting on a chair built around him. And that was all the fireworks he had bought for the 4th of July. It was like, oh my gosh. I mean, here you have a sparkler. You could be arrested in Los Angeles. And so he had this huge mountain of stuff that he said it all got shot off on 4th of July. And just amazing. He's obviously full on NRA and Western. And that's the genre that's the America's contribution to storytelling is the Western.
Indeed, that's what makes it unique.
Yeah.
Fuck, Utah is an open carry state. I mean, are y'all allowed to open carry pistols without a permit, or you got to go get a permit?
In Utah, believe it or not, Utah is the most lenient state in the union, even over Arizona. I mean, I can literally walk in. Literally, I walked into my bank with a gun on.
Yeah, okay. You can take it. I live in Mississippi right now, but you can wear a gun almost everywhere here but the casino.
Right. I mean, the only time you can't go in someplace with a gun is if they post, no firearms. But you can conceal weapons here without the permits are no longer needed.
Yeah, they dropped them here too. They dropped the permit altogether. They're like, no, you can carry or conceal. But what gets me down here is many women carry as men do.
Yeah, exactly. And did you know? Here's another bit of trivia that that in the police departments, all branches and such, that it is a known fact that women police officers are a better shot overall than male police officers.
Wouldn't doubt it. When it comes to, it's funny because Air Force did this thing. Women would make better pilots than men, except for one thing. There's only one real distinction between men and women is women would hesitate when going to take someone's life, whereas a man would just blow the living hell out of it and keep going.
Possibly.
Yeah,
well, they say that the reason women are better shots is that if you take a man and a woman who have never handled a firearm and you take them out to a range and you work with them and you show them, and the women will listen intently to everything you're saying. Meanwhile, the guy who has seen every John Wayne movie and every Clint Eastwood movie don't even listen to the guy because I know how to do this. I can be John Wayne like that. So, yeah, we just don't listen enough. So.
It's funny you said that because I remember I was about 6 when I got my first 25. And I was outside messing around with it. My grandpa walked up and smacked me in the back. And he said, "What do you think, you John Wayne boy? Put that thing in the holster."
Yeah.
It's like the last line of Disclosure Day where he says, the last thing he says there, I don't know if you saw that movie or not, Joe.
Not yet.
Yeah, it's a great movie. But it's just great, listen, just the earth is on the brink of World War III and you got Disclosure Day. This is what Joe's all about with UFO.
Technically there were 65 seconds away from the end of the world. It's where the clock is set right now. People look, it's been at 85 seconds for like 10 years. Don't panic is all I'm saying. I'm just saying, don't panic. The problem for, I think, our media, not just our media, everybody's media likes to exaggerate, but I think when America just needs to stop and think sometimes, okay, Putin don't want to nuke anybody because Putin don't want to get nuked. Xi Jinping can't even nuke us because if he nukes us, he nukes himself. We share the same trade wind, so you can't nuke either country without the other country being exposed to the radiation. I'm just not feeling that and nobody in this group wants to kill each other. We want to be greedy and take a bunch of stuff, but I don't think we want to kill the world yet. Maybe give us another 1,000 years. We'll see. By then, though, Elon will be living on Mars and we won't have to worry about it then.
There you go.
Yes, it's that's an interesting question. So when we go to Mars, are we going to have Western Mars? It's going to be like the Wild West, right? Let's be honest.
Well, we should just kind of channel that, I think, a little bit.
I think so.
I can see the aliens as being the bad guys, or vice versa. Maybe they're the good guys.
Yeah. Well, there's a series,
Gene Roddenberry.
Not Gene Roddenberry, Ray Bradbury, whatever his name was.
Right.
He did the Martian Chronicles.
That's Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, Ray Bradbury, and he did it. So, in them, they basically treat Mars like it's the Wild Wild West. They're out there with their 6 guns on. They're setting their restaurants up, building roads and stuff. And you kind of get that feel, except we'll have robots now.
That's true.
We're going to cheat, but still, we'll be out exploring. And I'm thinking there's not going to be any law enforcement out there of any real kind, other than the people you're with. It's good. It's going to be a little bit Wild Wild Westy. And, I'm too old. I probably won't get to see it, but still, it's going to be interesting for someone. I tell my grandkids all the time, "Oh man, yeah, y'all need to go. It's going to be fun."
I want to make sure you've got the lines up here so my podcast airs up there on Mars too, and on the moon when they get up there.
Well, Elon, I love Elon, even though I think he's Drax, but still, he said just the other day, he wants to put 100,000 satellites around Earth. Now, he's already got 11,000 of them up there, but he's going to start putting them around Mars pretty soon. So he's saying within 2 years, anything you can access on Earth, you'll be able to access on Mars. It'll take 7 minutes for the data to get there, he said, but you'll be able to access it on Mars. He said, so you'll just be like living on Earth with a 7-minute lag.
Wow,
nice.
That's intense.
So he's the man's changing the world, and he is, after all, the richest African American in the world. Maybe he's a little Wild Wild West himself, or probably a little more goth than anything else. But still, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh man, so y'all sound like y'all gonna be partying. As I'm looking through this website, you got all kind of good stuff going on.
Oh, we have contests, Yeehaw Holler contests. The kids love that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you got all kind of just looks like it's just going to be fun. And Utah's
Yeah.
got great weather. So I mean, well, I don't know. How is your weather in August?
Right now we're looking at, I mean, it's probably the high 80s right now, and so it'll start cooling down a little bit. And
you
but
lucky
yeah.
person.
Oh, and that's another.
Good.
We're also going to have you can actually during the day you'll be able to look through a solar telescope and see the stars in the
Wow,
sky.
that's cool. That's cool.
And that's another free thing. Just stop by, put your eye on that eyepiece, and you're good to go.
It's I mean, it's all y'all just got all kind of fun stuff going on. It's just
Yeah,
looks like
there's
it's gonna be a
Peter
blast.
again, right there. See, he's
There he is
popping up
over there.
everywhere.
See,
That's just the way he is.
It's
know.
he looks
And
very comfortable.
there you go.
Very, very relaxed, very comfortable. That's where we're
Yeah.
at. It's
I like that. And look at what is that logo right there? I see. It looks like
Whoa! I see
yeah.
a very
Wow.
famous logo there, Galaxy Press.
Yeah.
It's,
Wow. I almost sounded like Christopher Walken there. Wow. Crazy.
yeah,
And there's the dinner.
Ooh, I could go for some
Which I
barbecue.
can tell you right now that John and Emily will be there chowing down. So.
Yep.
Yes. Don't let Emmy act like she can't eat either. Tell her to eat. She needs to eat. She's getting skinny.
Yeah. Well, you can take over that argument with her.
Yeah, well, you know I like to argue with this. Josh, no, we're talking about Emily Goodwin. Well, no, see, John got to go home with her tonight. I live a whole 6 states away, so I can argue with her and hide.
Yeah,
No,
she's just saving up for when she sees him in a couple weeks there in Atlanta.
Yeah, she'll torture me. No, this is in Utah. Oh, Jimmy, I wish I could go to Salt Lake. I don't think I'll be able to go. You want to find
It's southern Utah, so it's about St. George is on the I-15 is the nearest big town. Then you turn off right there around St. George, and then you go into to Kanab. So it's about an hour away from St. George.
We're about an hour and 15 minutes away from St. George.
Yeah.
And from coming up from Arizona, if you go to Page, we're basically 64 miles due west.
Oh, and look, they got a place to corral your kids so you can have a good time.
They can have more fun. Exactly.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and this is a great cause too. The young lady that puts this together, she does an adaptive rodeo that I help with every year, and she changed the name and needed a logo, so I gave her Giddy Up Roundup. So she'll be there. A lot of fun and games, and trust me, there's just as many adults that play the games as kids do. So
I don't doubt that.
and a scavenger hunt. There you go. There's the Lone Ranger and Tonto. So did you? Are you guys are Lone Ranger fans? If you're L. Ron Hubbard fans, right?
Yeah.
And did you know that if you ever watch the Lone Ranger in any Spanish-speaking countries, he is not Tonto. He is called Toro, which means bull. And you might ask yourself, why is he not Tonto? Because the word tonto in Spanish means dumb, foolish, or stupid.
Oh, shucks. It's
there you go.
At least they fixed it. That's a plus. I guess they couldn't have El Stupido walking around all the time. It wouldn't have sounded right.
Yeah, I didn't think it would go over very well,
Let's see. Oh, wait, we got some quilts.
That's part of the big quilt show up here. My God, I think there'll be over 100 quilts. A lot of them are for sale, and these are all handmade. These aren't things you buy on Amazon and sell it. These are handcrafted. They have a big contest. It is. My wife Tammy, she makes quilts, and I don't understand her patience at all for doing this. It's amazing.
My wife used to. She don't anymore. Now she got other things on her mind. But it's. But we usually when we're traveling, because we do a lot of traveling, we're a lot of small towns and festivals and stuff. And every now and then, though, about once a year, we'll buy a quilt. Sometimes they end up hanging over windows and stuff. But it's. You find some interesting stuff. You really do. And some of them are so warm you don't even get out of them, man. I mean, they got some good ones. I mean, down here it's not as big a thing about being warm because our winters aren't really awful. I imagine you get pretty cold in Utah. Down here, we might see some teens, but mostly, I mean, average temperature in January is 63 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah. But see, like I said, right now it's 95 with a feel like of 114. So, you gotta live with the good and the bad, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh man, so this is gonna be a lot of fun. You get a lot of people out there. So this is your first year doing this one?
This is the first year doing this. The old Legends Roundup ended in 2024, and that's when they approached me and said it was a county event, Kane County and the city, and then all of a sudden they decided not to do it, and I got approached because they knew of my history of doing events for the last 35 years, and then it just kind of blossomed. But like I said, I can't thank the community enough. It's a very small, tight-knit community. I think there's probably like maybe only 5 different last names in this town. You're either a Johnson, a Swap, a Heaton, or on and on. But they said, we don't know how to do events. Can you help us? And so I said, yeah, I'd like to keep this alive. And so it's just there, and it's right around the corner and riding in like a tornado. So this little time here talking with you guys has been a wonderful, it's like a vacation for me. So I appreciate that.
A little respite.
Yeah, I feel rested, and then I'll go right back to it. And then I have another podcast interview to do in about 2 hours. So,
well, when that's kind of how it is, though. I mean, you know that now because you've been doing this for a while. But I try to tell people when they first get into the fields, when you start pushing stuff and publishing stuff and putting events together, you're going to spend a lot of time behind the microphone. Anytime we have any new gigs coming up, like just tomorrow, I'll be doing 3 different interviews tomorrow, and Friday, and then next Wednesday I'll be on with my own show, and then doing 2 other additional shows that Wednesday. So it gets crazy, but hey, it's worth it. Most of the time, it's worth it. Let me rephrase that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the show is going to be great that Buck's putting on. So it's the Little Hollywood Wild West Fest, and you at the bottom of the scroller here, you can actually see Little Hollywood West wildwestfest.com, where you can go and find all the specifics about it. So it starts when it's a Wednesday night is when you have the first.
Actually Thursday night. So Thursday night, the 10th. And then the fest opens up on the 11th and 12th at the museum. And then we have a thing on Friday night again at the Redstone, and then the final dinner. So it'll all come in, quick, and hopefully people will have a good time, make some good memories from it, pick up some autographs, and just enjoy and help support the community. We want to put heads in beds, people in the restaurants. There's so many unique, amazing gift shops here. So yeah, it's kind of like a Wild West Disneyland, if you will.
So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, yes.
Because Sunday, because it's Utah, Sunday is the day of rest type thing. So there's no events on Sunday.
Except for me, because I'll be cleaning up. So
for sure.
Yeah.
That's your lot in life.
It is Lelania. Yeah, my lot in life, Lelania. Yeah. That is it. But no, and I've got I think almost 20 people that used to be posse members of mine from Phoenix. They're coming up.
Oh, good. Hopefully I'll recognize some of them.
So you're going to see some familiar faces, John, and doing it down there at 60 volunteers, at the peak. And so I'm kind of starting fresh there, So, but it'll work. It'll work. I'm very much an optimist. So
that's a fact. So we're behind you on this, and we wish you totally the best on this, because obviously we're going to come there and we want to be able to sell a bucket load of books at the show there with all the various L. Ron Hubbard Westerns. And hopefully as a result of this, there'll be more people like, well, I didn't know about that. And they want to come in maybe they're going to fly in from the Cape Good Horn there in South Africa and fly up here to see your show or something, whatever. They're welcome,
Yep.
So,
Yep. And we truly appreciate, and I personally appreciate all your support and help over the years, not just for this, but over the years. And it's been a good relationship, a good
absolutely.
ride, as we would say. So, yeah.
Yes. Well, anyway, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
we'll be seeing you in a few short weeks.
All right, my friend, and enjoy your talk with Peter. He's a hoot. So,
Absolutely.
Nice
Yes.
meeting you, Buck.
nice meeting you,
great.
my friend.
Yeah,
Adios.
See you.
Okay, so he should have his. Let's go back over here. Hey, there I can see y'all again. I get lost when I start shifting screens around. Glenn, yeah, no, you're in Utah. Go see him. No, I know where you live. Yeah. Well, I know you live in Utah. Yeah. Because you're always bugging me about when we're going to Area 51.
You might need to help Buck to be able to say adios.
That's.
It's
There we go.
And boop, boop, and boop. And there's Peter. Look, right as I couldn't find that.
Hey, Peter.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Doing good. And this is Joe Montalvo. He's the host.
Nice to meet you, Peter.
We just got finished seeing your picture up on we just got done watching your picture on the website for the Wild West Fest coming up. We just had Buck on. He just signed off as you signed on.
I was watching.
Oh, okay, good.
So, yeah, I just saw a Buck, so that was good.
Yeah, Carmen texted me saying he spent about a half hour chatting with you. He said this is great because you're also a member of Western Writers of America.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
hello.
I have all my books here, so I'll show them to you.
Oh, good. Yes.
And I have a new one coming out. Now, you're a publisher, though.
That's a fact.
Yeah. I just sent my latest book Thursday into the publisher of my book. No offense. Please don't take offense to that. But
we're good. No, I've got a podcast because I also have a contest called Writers of the Future, which has been going on now for over 4 decades. And we publish 12 new writers every year and 12 new and 12 artists. So this past year we broke 1,000 over the 42 years. And I've been doing a lot, to help new writers. And we've got this podcast that I do, which just this morning I got the updated the top writing podcast in the United States. It's called Million Podcasts is the website. And so Rise of the Future hit #1. So the first time we hit #1 on writing podcasts in the U.S., which is pretty exciting on that, so because I love talking about, people's stories. And the podcast that just aired before this show was with Kellen Cutsforth, who's the executor of Western Writers of America. And so he was just a guest on the podcast. I don't know if you've met him or not. He just came on board this past year as the executive director. But did you? I guess you didn't make it out to the annual conference in.
you mean the
in St. Louis?
The thing in June?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was there a couple of years ago when they were in Tucson. They were in South Dakota. It's just sometimes. I hate to say it. No, I love to say it. Sometimes I'm just too busy doing things.
Yeah.
No, that's great to be able to have that as a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a.
Oops.
What happened?
Oops.
Oh, that dropped.
He got taken over by an alien there. He's like.
He's getting probed. He'll be back. A little quick probe, and then he'll be back. Heidi, I seen you in here earlier. I was over another page. That's why I didn't respond. But no, things have been crazy, people. Yeah. What do you mean? What did I say? Gosh. Oh, because I don't curse on this show. Yes. No. No. They're showing you from the cover. I don't curse on it. Oh no. News on the flip side. I try not to, but they just irritate me, so I have to. Chat is just keep your ears closed if you don't want to hear cursing. That's all I can tell you. It's that's my stress relief show. Yes. Well, a good friend of mine writes me. She's been listening to me for 30 years. She goes, man, I didn't know you cursed. I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, well, I listen to your other shows, Science Beyond. She said, you don't curse in any other shows. She says, but I tuned into chat the other day, and I was like, who the hell is this guy? I said, you do know I was in the Navy, right? I was a sailor for a few years, right? I said, have you ever met a sailor that didn't have a bad mouth? Let's just be honest about this. Oh, no, Jimmy, it's on. So this network is not a child rated network. Technically, it's an 18 and over. Really, it's a 21 and over network. Not because there's any type of, sexual materials or anything like that. It's just some of the topic matter can be challenging, and we don't want kids to accidentally listen to, just topics that they shouldn't hear at certain ages. Oh, wait, we got Peter back. Let's grab Peter.
Am I
There we
back
go.
with
We
you?
got you. Yeah, we got you, man. We got
Okay.
you. Yeah,
I'm
we got-
sorry. This is above my pay grade. I touched the screen and all of a sudden everything was gone.
Yeah,
And I
that's
have
that
to
kinda
call
happens.
Susan. Help!
That's right.
There
Call
we go.
boss.
Yeah,
Get out of
I saw her right off into the sunset as you came on the screen there.
It's just, well, I told Carmen earlier, are we on the air or?
Yeah, we're on. We're good. We're good. Yeah.
Oh,
We
okay.
never
Well, I'm
left.
just gonna
Only
say
you
it.
left. We were still here.
I was going to give the story. Years ago, about 10, 15 years ago, we were doing a commercial for one of the Indian casinos. And we had a whole pile of Indians come out from Arizona, from the
Navajo?
Navajos. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Navajos or the Chicago Hos or the Rapahos. Anyway, then they came out and we're talking. We're filming for a couple of days. And one of the guys we're talking, and he said, I'm going to tell you a story. He said, we as Indians, we take a sweat lodge. We have a sweat lodge that gets all the poisons. And I said, yes, I know that. I know you take the sweat lodge, gets all the poisons out of you. Next day, we're sitting there talking, and he said, I'm going to tell you an ancient story that my grandfather told me. He said, one day, a giant spider was going to spin a web around Mother Earth and start strangling it, and Mother Earth will survive. And I looked at him and I said, you know what you just told me the last couple of days? You talked about global warming and the World Wide Web. I said, I'm not touching a computer. I am not going to offend Mother Earth. So that's why I know nothing about, well, your phone is a computer. Well, maybe it is, but it takes pictures and it sends them, and that's what I know how to do.
Hey, that works.
Well,
You've converted, you've reverted back to your real self. So please get back to your regular human.
All
There.
right, we're back. We're back.
Okay, good.
yeah, you were gone for a second.
Yeah.
And that's what he really is, what you saw there. He has to come back to his human appearance.
Yeah, they tell me when I'm on air, I have to wear the skin. You know how it is.
Okay.
When I used to hang out with the Native Americans, they used to call it skinwalkers, but now they got another name for it. So it's one of them things. But anyway, moving on from all of that.
So what kind of books do you write, Peter?
Well, my first book was Tombstone. Can we see that?
Yeah.
Now, my company, I have this little company called Caravan West. I created it when I first started in the business as an actor. People said, when you start making money, invest in a laundromat. Invest in a business that's making money when you're not. So during the 80s, when I first came out to LA, my friends and I are sitting there, we're watching Westerns. And now I've been collecting Western stuff for 50 years. And they were saying, the saddle's wrong, the gun's wrong, the gun belt's wrong, the hats are wrong. What? Yeah. And I realized nobody did anything about it. I said, I will. So my laundromat that I created was a little business. We're the only one that does everything for a Western. Props, costumes, set dressing, horses, guns, gun belts, and they're all authentic. They're all
Thanks for the time period for that time.
They're right for the time. The first thing I ask a producer when I go into is, before I go into a producer story, I went in for a meeting with the producer, and my second book is The Fringe of Hollywood, The Art of Making a Western. He bought it, had it on his desk. I walked into his office and he said, have you read this book? This book tells you how to make a Western. I said, read it? I wrote it. Oh, got the job. And then last year, another publishing company approached me and they said, look, because of the Alec Baldwin fiasco, can you write a book on gun safety? Because we've done well over 1,000 different shows I've done well over 200, and I do armory on the shows, and I supply the guns for them. So I wrote a book called "Prove It Safe: Gun Safety in the Movies," and that's out. And every studio, every prop guy, everybody, every writer should have them. I also do children's books. This is the stories of Oso and Neo, which is my horse and my dog, and they're telling me stories on how to live. And I did this for kids. I'm at a gun show. I'm at gun shows all the time. So I'm at a gun show and I'm selling the books. The guy walked by. He goes, "You make Western movies. What are you making kids' books for?" I said, "Look, when I was a kid, I grew up with The Lone Ranger and Gene Autry and Fred Rogers. Now it's my turn to inspire kids the way that I can." And now my latest one is The West, Reality of the Myth. And it's full of stories. It's full of different events. We do a lot of documentaries, a lot of documentary series. So I wrote a whole series, and I said, "Wait a minute, these are all great stories. It should be a documentary." I didn't sell the documentary, but I wrote the book. I also have a chapter on phrases and words from the Old West. A lot of directors will call me up and they'll say, "Okay, yeah, send me a script. We're doing a Western script. We're doing a Western." And they'll go, "Punch it up. Tell me what, 21st century words in it, phrases. Change those to what the 19th century phrases were." So I have all of that as a guide to writers and directors and actors to help them with that. And they'll send me the script. They'll say, "Here, do this, do that. You're going to supply everything. How much is it going to be? And what part would you like to play?" And I go, "Hey, it's a win-win situation."
Oh yeah,
for me, the way I do things.
Oh, that's
And
great.
I don't call myself a historian. I call myself a practical historian. So I like to practice what I do. I remember watching a documentary in the 80s, and there was a guy who's doing a voiceover, and they're showing photos, and he's saying, "Cowboys back in the Old West, they didn't carry guns." Well, they're showing photo after photo after photo after photo with a guy wearing a gun. And he said, "They were just too cumbersome, and they didn't like carrying a gun. They kept them in the wagon." And then they show a picture of him doing his talk, and he's got to weigh 450 pounds. And I said, "No wonder they're cumbersome for you. You can't get one to fit you. Of course they're going to be a problem." I mean, now that I'm old, when I was, in my 30s and 40s and 50s, yeah, I strap on a gun all the time and ride. Now, okay, do I really want to wear that? No. So there's a difference. Cowboys were young. What, you had a question coming up?
Well, I was just thinking when you said that about guns, I've got pretty much a different size gun for each occasion, man. I got one for my shit kickers. Actually, I got two different ones for my shit kickers. I got the big one
from where?
For my boots. I got a couple because I like to wear cowboy boots. So I've been wearing my whole life. So yeah, I've been wearing my whole life. So anyway, I got a couple of them that are actually designed to fit in there. I got one. It's a Dillinger wallet. So if somebody goes to rob you and they hand you your wallet, of course, your fingers on the trigger, you just kill them dead. And that's all there is to that. And
Would that Derringer be a high standard 22 mag?
I can't remember if it's a 22 or 25. I'd have to go look, but I think so. It was actually, when my stepfather was a state trooper when he passed, I inherited 3 of his guns, and that was one of them. And he said, "No, I'm gonna leave to you because you're the only one who'll appreciate the damn things." And I do. I like guns. I got I don't have the biggest collection that I used to, but I still got a nice ass collection. It's I'm like when we were talking with Buck. I like to blow stuff up. So give me something to blow up.
So how did you meet Buck?
Oh, I met Buck 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
Okay.
He was always doing his stunt shows and his different events, and I'm always, I go to cowboy places. I go to, all of these events because I devoted my life to making Westerns. That's what I want to do. It used to drive people crazy when I was in New York in the 70s. I was on a soap opera and I was doing stage plays, and they would all laugh at me and say, "No, Westerns are out. Who wants to do a Western?" I said, "I do." One story is back then we used to have a green room on the show called All My Children, and we'd have a walkthrough rehearsal, then we'd have a run through rehearsal, then we'd break for lunch. Well, when we break for lunch at 11 o'clock in the morning, everybody would go to the green room and get coffee or a cup donut, and whoever got there first would turn the TV on to whatever they did. So Channel 5 was showing reruns of Bonanza, and I went up there, turned it on, and I'm sitting there by myself watching it, and then a couple of other actors kept on coming in. And one guy came in, and it was Haas was in the desert, and he was dying and walking through the desert. And this actor came in, and he looked, and he said, "Oh my God, can you imagine spending 3 weeks in the desert filming?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love it." So that's it. I've always had an interest in the West. I've always loved the West, and when I started in the business, a girl that I was going out with at the time said, "Pigeonhole yourself. Everybody's going to pigeonhole you in this business. So don't let somebody else do it to you. Do it yourself. Do what you want to do." And if you look at that, an actor who's always in a comedy, they're never accepted in a drama. An actor who's accepted in a drama,
hard.
Everybody fits into their same things.
That's hard.
You look at any mafia movie, they all have basically the same actors in it. Whether it's Pesci or De Niro or Al Pacino, it's all going to be the same guys.
Well, some of them guys make great mafia guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, but that's the nature of the business.
Yeah, it
and
is.
I sat there thinking, and I said, well, I have horses. I collect the West. I studied that. I want to do Westerns. And they all laughed at me. But that's what I do.
Yeah, which is great.
Am I famous?
But people, I don't understand, because I know pretty much anyone 50 and over grew up with Westerns in their lives. My dad, we used to have to watch The Rifleman. We would watch Gunsmoke. We watch, literally, there was at least 5 different ones we were watching. Plus, we have to watch Elliot Ness and stuff like that. But it was just it was just in the house. It's part of growing up. It is there, so you watch it. And those
back in the 70s,
moral, but because it's 60s, 70s. What was nice about them is the morals there are solid. And they're not, you don't get beat over the head with them. Yeah,
the old ones.
And the new ones, the morals are.
And the new ones, the wokeness makes me crazy. But today,
I watch The Lone Ranger every day. I start my day off with watching
The Lone Ranger is cool. It's but all of that had good, solid. If you were a kid watching that and you were watching it every day, you had a really good, solid understanding of how you should act and you shouldn't act. But you didn't even have to go to church. There was enough there that you could really get to understand. Today, look, I watch Superman, and the first thing I see, or Supergirl, the first thing I see is the dog peeing on Superman. I'm like, what the? I'm just, okay.
Yeah, that stuff is disgusting.
Just irritated the crap out of me for no reason. I'm like, okay. So those kind of things, I feel that's disrespectful. I think a lot of what they try to stuff in the kids' heads today is just disrespectful. And
Saturday night at midnight, I watch Superman on MeTV.
Really cool. It's I do a lot of fighting with people on educating children and what's appropriate and what's not. I don't. I like
the very liberal perspective is like, let them on their own and just, you just grow up feral kids, and they're afraid to talk to people. They're afraid of this, and they're here, especially in Hollywood. They feel it's their God-given right to just have what they want and do what they want. And here it's you can't arrest somebody if they steal, unless they steal over $700 worth of stuff. And so you got businesses closing down. It's just, it's disgusting. But I used to grow up, when I was a kid, I grew up watching Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. And every morning as they were riding into the sunset under their arch there, I'd kiss Dale Evans goodbye, until the next day. I was so in love with her. She was such pretty. And I was like, 3 years old or whatever. But I used to enjoy watching that. And then Sky King, I don't know if you ever watched that one. That was an old show there in the way back when with.
I used to force my son to watch Rin 1010. And Lassie, she was like, "Oh wait,
did you ever see a movie
Mr.
called
Ed.
Sniper?
See what?
I've seen a movie in that, The Sniper.
Sniper.
There's been a couple of
made
made
in 1952.
Oh, I ain't
It
seen
was
that one.
about a guy, a little nuts, a little crazy, who was a serial killer of women. I saw it for the first time last night on Turner Classic Movies. And what a wonderful movie it was. And one of the things, they had a psychiatrist in the coming into the police station, telling them that people who create this crime said, once you catch them, the first, lock them up forever. They should not be, because they will do it again. And if you look and see what happens today, everybody that's being caught and going on trial, and you look at their rap sheet, they had 12, 15, 20
Oh yeah, it's
arrests
ridiculous.
prior to that.
Yeah.
See,
And,
that
and this
has
is
more to.
1952 where they're saying, no, put them away.
Yeah. Well, see, in America these days, it's more about where you live. Both the states I live in, 3 times strike laws. That's it. Your ass is going to jail 20 years after the third time. They don't care. They're like, nope, nope. We told you. I mean, I just literally heard the judge the other day go, you know what? He said, you've been in my court. This is your third time. I told you each time, 3 times loser, you get an extra 10 years. So he got 5 for the crime, 10 for the strike, and he got 15 years. And I guarantee when he gets out of jail, he'll behave himself for the first time. But
Maybe,
it's
well,
just-
they'll do it again.
Oh yeah,
Sometimes
he
they
might
can't
do it.
be.
Yeah, you at least
But-
repeats at least 75%.
Yeah, that's. I don't talk politics. I don't talk religion. I don't talk any of that stuff. Everybody, when you said, John, when you said no, everybody wants to do what they want to do. That's my whole attitude in life. Do what you want to do,
That's right.
and just don't hurt anybody. It's as simple as that. And don't make anybody else do what you want to do. I don't eat sushi, but I won't stop you from eating it. I won't say, yeah, you can't do that. I don't like it.
Let me talk about that nasty.
In that case,
sushi,
you'd
man.
love Hollywood then, because you got all kinds of
probably
people
here.
camping out on the streets, and you can get past. They're passing out free needles. That's the policy of the local politicians. They give free needles if you want it, and they've just opened up all the parks so that anybody that wants to sleep overnight there, homeless, they can sleep in all different parks. So that's what they want to do.
I don't go to Hollywood.
Yeah, you're
Well,
all
a
right.
lot of people-
You're probably better for not
I
doing
will
it.
not.
These days, if you go to Hollywood, you're
That's
going to get high.
California.
Jack, it's true. So no, I'll tell you real quick. We got a couple seconds. I'll tell you real quick. So that is a true story. What happened was I was coming home from work one day from New Orleans, and I was coming to my house here on the coast, and I stopped for pizza, and I had my 9mm on me, which is a Canic. It's a pistol. It's a target gun. It's really fast. It's really nice. But anyway, so I'm standing in line waiting for my pizza, and I got these 2 girls standing in front of me, both country girls, and they just standing there. And this guy comes in from nowhere with a machete and gonna rob the place. So I'm thinking, dude, do you not see this big monster on my hip? Yeah. So I didn't even. I went to turn around. I see these 2 chicks on the floor. Like, Jesus Christ. No, I'm serious, people. These 2 young girls whipped them guns up, put this kid on the floor like, you going to prison, buddy. No, they weren't cops. They were just 2 girls carrying guns on their hip, just like I was. Both carried. One was carrying a pink 357, and one was carrying a turquoise 380 automatic.
Oh, turquoise. Very, 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 very proud. Very.
I'm just saying. No, it was funny. It was a little scary, but it was funny. But I just
All right,
feel.
put the machete down. We got
Yes, but I live in a deep south, so they will shoot you down here. They don't. They have.
You
We have
live where?
standards. I live in the deep south. I mean, I'm so far south that if you go another 100 yards, you're in the Gulf of America. That's where I'm at. So I mean, but it's nice here. But I mean, it's way safer than most places are. It's not by any means perfect, but it's
Nothing is perfect. No one is perfect.
so
Everything
from where
has
John
flaws.
lives and I live, it's 38% cheaper for me to live than for him. 38%. I'm not kidding you. It's 38% cheaper. That's outrageous, man. That's just outrageous. You California people need to move.
A lot of them are. A lot
Move
of
to
them are.
Utah. That's what I'm saying. Go to Utah. They got a lot of conservatives in Utah. Move there.
Where do you live, Peter?
I live in a little town in LA County called Agua Dulce. It's
Why does that sound
Sweetwater,
familiar?
American. Vasquez Rocks. If you've watched hundreds of old westerns, you saw them amongst these big rocks that are on a slant. If the thing that most people know is Captain Kirk fighting the Grome
Oh, they're growing. Yeah.
in
remember
Star
that.
Trek. That's Vasquez Rocks. These are these big, volcanic rocks that came up, and we filmed so many things there. I used to live in the valley, but I outgrew the place. I outgrew this place now, and we always worked out here. So when I had an opportunity, my house got mudslided in LA.
That's
So I said, well, God came in and I kept on saying, I got to move, but I can't move because I have everything here. And God came in and mudslided the house and said, okay, now you can move.
no more excuses, buddy. Get your ass out. It's but it's weird how you do that. I mean, I remember when we bought our first house, we bought a condo and a townhouse. 3 years, 5 years, we had to move. Too much crap in it. Well, we bought this house. We've had this house for 12 years now on the coast, and literally, I'm either gonna have to throw some stuff away or move. I'm not gonna have a choice here soon. It's I don't know how that happens, man.
It's even after the kids moved out.
Yes, thank God they did too. One of them was threatening the other day. He wanted to come home. I'm like, no. He said, Dad, if I don't come home, I got to move to Houston. I was like, oh, Houston's a nice place, son. Go to Houston. Go to Houston. I lived in Houston. Go live in Houston. It's not horrible.
I lived in Houston.
There's nothing wrong with
In
Houston.
1976, I lived in Houston.
I was there in like 95 or 6. I was thinking when you said about roaming around the desert, I spent almost 3 weeks roaming around the Middle Eastern desert. Not filming either. I was in special forces in the service.
I can't think of going there. I'm trying. I'm fixing to. I'm trying to move to Arizona.
Arizona's nice.
Only because I want to enlarge what we're doing. I have acreage here. I have 20 buildings on the ranch that are all full of props and costumes, and the movie business in LA has really gone down. Yeah. So the last couple of years, I've done like 5-6 shows in Arizona. Wow. And Texas and New Mexico as compared to doing them here in LA.
Well, they're making the majority of movies now in the South, but I don't know if they're making Westerns or not. I haven't heard. Mostly it seems like thrillers.
No, I was in Atlanta a couple of years ago and I did a movie there.
Yeah, I know Atlanta's doing a lot of movies. And Atlanta, you know why Atlanta does so many movies? They don't charge them but 1% tax. And they tell them, if you want to use any stuff that belongs to the state or the city, feel free. We won't charge you for it. Of course they're going to make movies there.
Well, that's the secret. What will happen, though, in a couple of years, Atlanta would be saying, you know what, we got to charge more money for this. And then the movie people will move out. Trillic Studios in Atlanta is the place that used to do all the Marvel Universe. Now Marvel Universe has moved to England, because I think they started charging them more, and they said, "Wait a minute, we can film it cheaper in England. We'll go there. Bye."
Well, a good bit of sci-fi is made in Canada these days. Has been since the late '90s. A lot of it's made up there. It is cheaper in a lot of ways, but now I don't know. Now that AI is coming in, all that's going to change. It's gonna make a lot of difference in where things are getting produced, because AI does a lot of the work now.
AI, in 5 years. And possibly by 10 years, there will be no more TV. It'll all be AI. It'll all be video on demand, whatever it is. It'll all be streaming.
Yeah, it's going to all be streaming.
Oh, tomorrow night, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Are you Eastern time or Central?
I'm Central, yeah. I'm Central time.
Okay, Central time. It'll be 7 o'clock at night on Roku or Roku.
Oh, we're on Roku. We broadcast there.
Okay, well, 7 o'clock tomorrow night is my new show, which they're showing, called Texas Jack's Wild West Theater.
I'll have to check
it'll
it
be
out.
on that. I'm hoping that they get enough advertisers and say, "Here's your money, kid. Do this show. We'll do 30 of them this year." So I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
do you know Martin Cove?
I know Marty very well. I've known Marty for 30 years, more than that.
Yeah, because we're hoping, because he's a good friend and he's done several of our shows, our audiobooks, and we're working with him on his scheduling to be the keynote speaker presenter next year at the Western Writers of America Spur Awards. And so he used to live here now. He said, I can't handle it. He comes here as long as he has to be here for an event or for a show or something like that, and then he flies right back out without spending any more time than he has to here in California. He's got a home out in near Atlanta. What's that?
He moved to
Nashville. Yeah, he's in Nashville. Yeah, and along with Bruce Boxleitner, who's moved out there too. You know, and
wait, which Bruce? Bruce from
Bruce
South
Boxleitner.
Side?
He's the guy from Tron. The guy.
Oh yeah, okay, from Babylon 5. I got you.
Babylon 5. Yeah. So
see, now you just Bruce. A lot of TV shows. Babylon 5. His first one was the one with James Arness. How the West Was Won.
Yeah.
The first series. So Bruce, that leads us to the 5 points of an actor. You know the 5 phases of an actor?
what's that?
Who? Oh, him. Get me him. Get me somebody like him. Who? Those are the 5 points. And I always say that because my agent called me one day and he said, I got a call from a show, and they asked me, they said, do you have a Peter Sherayko lookalike? And I said, I represent him. And he said, no. He's too expensive. We can't afford him. Do you have a? I said, yes, they can afford me. What are they talking about? And I went from the who to the oh him to get me somebody like him. I missed the one where you make all the money. You make all the money and get me him.
That's because somebody started the rumor. That's why somebody said, "Damn, he's expensive, man."
When I do these things, when I do these shows, the other actors, they want to come in, do that glad hand guy. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I visit with the people. I don't fly around the country. I drive. If I'm doing something in New York or North Carolina or Texas, I'll drive there. Well, we could fly now. I don't want to, I did a thing in Illinois last year, and I drove out there. And I drive everywhere. I have a motorhome. I drive in my motorhome, and I can stop anytime I want, and I visit everybody. I love this country.
I do too. I love to drive.
To me, the country is not New York and L.A. To me, the country is everything in between. And that's who I like to visit. That's who I like to say. And a lot of people, I know so many people around the country, and they always say to me, they'll call me or they'll email me or text me, and they'll say, hey, if you're coming through, Iowa, stop by, we'll go to dinner and you could, and love to have you spend the night. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And if I stop by, don't be surprised if I pull up. And but I'll tell you this much, I don't make a bed. I spent 4 years in the Air Force. I'm a Vietnam veteran. And when I got out of the Air Force, that was my oath. I will never make another bed. And I never have.
You didn't like them corners,
first thing you got to do in the morning is make it. No. And I can sleep anywhere, but
I wouldn't make a bed anyway. If I make mine, my damn dogs will just go root it up. I'll come in. I mean, I'll come in. I'm like, what the hell? I'll be 2 humps in the middle of my bed covered.
It's just because your dog wants to be with you.
Yeah, they're spoiled rotten is what them dogs are.
That's what they're about.
Spoiled rotten. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what they're about. It's
I'm curious, Peter, have you read, because we're also right now, part of what we're doing, booking on these Western guests and stuff is because we're doing the 90th anniversary of Hubbard actually, Warren Hubbard actually writing Westerns. He wrote published 38 different Westerns. And so the first one was in 1936. And so this is the 90th anniversary. We've done lots of them. And so we're one of the sponsors of the Wild West Fest coming out there. So that's, we had Buck on just a few minutes ago before you. But I'm just curious, have you read any of his Westerns or any of his books at all?
I have 2 of them, but I must say I don't read novels. I have 5,000 books in my library. My library is a separate building than on the house. And I have over 5,000 books in there. Most of them are history books or movie books. Most of them are on the guns and saddles, and
which makes sense.
Different stories about things. I do have some. I can't say they're complete sets, but I do have a set of Bret Hart. I do have a set of the other guy in Ohio, Zane Grey. But I don't sit there and read novels. I don't know why. A lot of my friends write novels. and a lot of them send them to me, and I might breeze through them or just check them out, but I won't. I'm reading all these books. I have a table in my library that's stacked, probably has about 50 books in it now that I've bought over the last year, and I haven't gotten to read yet. So they're sitting there before I put them on the shelves, and it's wall to wall shelves, and it's it's a mess. But I say, welcome to my mess. Come on in.
Yeah.
There's a couple of chairs that people can sit on, and the rest of it is books and manuscripts and scripts and I write. Everything that I do is I handwrite. So I have the little legal pads, and I write all those, and then I give them to my wife, and she puts them on the computer because I don't do computers. So she does it that way, and then of course my spelling is terrible. So if
I was going to
try
say,
spell a word, I will start the word and then it'll go like scribble, like, hey, make out that word. It's
now, if you want to be nice to your wife, this program we're using right here will do all that for you. Right now, if I wanted to, I could separate all three of our voices, have all three separate tracks. It'll go through and change the not the pronunciation, but the incorrect saying of a word, and it'll even suggest you edits for your grammar while you're talking. Because I have a Couillon accent, so it gets in the way sometimes.
Send me that information.
Oh well,
because I do have to do that. I'm one of my other goals in life is to create a museum. I have so much stuff, and as I'm getting older, I'm slowing down in the world. And I said, look, I want to start a legacy museum of both the real West and the real West, so that people can enjoy it. So many prop people and set people come out here, costumers, and they go through all the buildings and they go, my God, you have enough stuff for a museum here. I said, yes, I do. And that's what I want to do. So my old agent, who is working with me on the museum, she wants to be the museum director. She did that exact same thing to me. She was out here a couple of weeks ago, and we were having dinner, and then I went through this whole stuff. And she just turned whatever she did with her phone, and she followed my whole conversation for like 10 minutes, and then played it back with a voice saying exactly what I did. And I said, "How did you do that?" And that's what I would like to do. That's what I would.
Yeah, it's the technology today is really nice.
It is. Yeah, that's why I say in
stuff.
5-10 years it's going to be all streaming.
Yeah,
technology is great, and we have to adapt to it.
Well, think about this.
Understand, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah, this little piece of software we're using right now. So it'll do everything I just told you, plus a lot of other stuff. Plus, you can broadcast around the world with this. You can broadcast to 8 social medias at one time. You can broadcast it to Roku. Right now, tonight, we're on Roku and Fire Stick, so we're broadcasting those plus everything else. Then it also connects to my live audio feeds, which go out to, I've lost track of how many places in the world it goes to now. So, I mean, it's all there, and it's all at a fingertip. I mean, I can come here anytime I want, click, click, click. It takes me about 5 minutes, and I can broadcast to the world. And not just that, while I'm doing it, I can put it together, make clips out of it, shorts out of it, turn it into small things, turn it into large things.
Make so it beyond my pay grade.
It's but the thing of it is, but I was the same way. Then I found out, okay, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of the software we use, because we have so many hosts on my network, I call it software for idiots, because it doesn't matter what you know, it's all click, it's all plug it, it's all just follow the click. Little thing lights up, 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 click, click. You don't do nothing. I mean, this stuff is very intuitive. I was amazed because I'm pretty good with software. I mean, I got degrees in advanced avionics, electronics, and software engineering. But we needed something because with 45 hosts on the network, a lot of them are not going to be computer literate. So we needed stuff that anybody could use. It didn't matter who they were. They needed to just be able to walk in after being shown 2 or 3 times and be able to use it. And one of my favorite hosts, who is completely computer illiterate, hates to even be around a damn phone order thing. She's one of the best hosts we got now. She starts her own shows, does all her stuff. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm editing." "What are you doing?" "What?" He said, I'm editing. I said, who taught you that? Oh, I just read the instructions. I'm like, it's really, really, really easy. I was like, okay. And it turned her into monsters. What happened here, by the way?
That is what I need, because
So, I
on the
mean,
TV show that is airing tomorrow night, I have my director, my editor, everything else. I do the show as I write the stuff, put it together. You know, he films it, edits it, and has it ready to go.
oh, and this thing will give you a what do you call it? When you're on stage and you're reading the cue,
Teleprompter.
the teleprompter, and it has a built-in teleprompter now. So while we're live, you can actually have a teleprompter. You can be reading while you're doing your show. Nobody can see it but you. So,
Yeah, I
the
use that
host-
also because I do my podcast on Riverside, and I put the teleprompter, so I'm looking at the person as I'm reading the script I put together.
Yeah.
So one thing I'm curious about, Peter, just as a bridge over here, you're talking about your museum. Do you have any stuff from Tombstone? Because you're in Tombstone, right? You're in that movie.
Yeah.
Do you have any props
I
from that?
remember that movie. Yeah. Yeah. I did. I designed all the guns for the movie. I worked with Kevin Jarre for a year on the movie, putting everything together. I brought all of the Red Sash gang in, all those guys. There were 30, 40 guys riding in the gang. I hired all those guys. We built most of the costumes. The costume designer, Joe Porro, one of the first meetings we had, and I was bringing 30 guys in. I had all 30 guys in alphabetical order. And Kevin, who was the writer-director, he said, hey, let me see these guys you're bringing in. Let me see what they look like. Well, the first guy is a guy named Jemison. And if there's the Hash Knife Cowboys from Northern California in the 1880s, there's a famous photo of a Hash Knife Cowboy. Jemison took that photo, made the chaps just like the chaps in the photo. He designed the hat. He built a hat like that, had the same saddle, put it down, took the photo in sepia tone, and stood just like the guy in the original photo. Kevin looks at it and he goes, that is an 1880s Arizona cowboy. That's what I want. Joe, take a look at this. This is what I want the Cowboys to dress like. Joe's looking at it. After the meeting, came up to me and he said, what book did you get the picture out of? I said, the book, that picture's not in a book. That's one of the guys I'm bringing in. He goes, oh my God. He said, I can't have the extras looking better than the stars. I said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it for you. So one of my guys, his wife made 400 shirts for the movie. Joe designed them all. He designed who's going to wear what color, what style, what everything. And then he bought all the material and she made 400 shirts. I was dealing with Stetson for years. So I had Stetson make 200 hats for the movie. All the chaps and spurs, I knew all the makers. I knew all the people. I got all of that stuff in. And then I designed the guns and brought in and had a lot of the gun belts made because Kevin wanted them made. Or I used El Paso Saddlery, Gordon Davis, a couple of other people that were making gun belts. But they're all historically correct.
Well,
And that's why the movie was so good. I was with Kurt Russell 2 years ago, and we were talking, and he said, it's 30 years that we did Tombstone. No movie has come close to it. And none have, because most of the people that make movies don't know about the Old West, don't care about it.
No,
A lot of the actors who are in them, and they might know them. I live on a ranch. I fed my horses this morning. I have, 2 buildings full of saddles. I have 300 period saddles. I have 750 period gun belts. You go to some of these actors that, I'm in a Western, I must be and they live in a condo in West LA. They don't know the West.
They're an urban cowboy, man. They're an urban cowboy. That's all.
They're not even urban cowboys.
I know they're not. They're just sad.
I went in for back in the 90s, early 2000s, there were a lot of Western commercials, and we were in them. We were doing like 13 commercials a year, all Western stuff. And this one, I went in, the casting director was a pretty noble British woman from England, jolly old England. And I brought in pictures of some of the guys that I was going to hire. And I said, I'll bring these in. And she said, "Oh no, they don't look like cowboys. Here's what I'm looking for." And she showed me 3 pictures of guys that I know, but they all live in condos in West LA. They all have their stuff. They all have to borrow stuff to go in for.
Yeah,
You know,
do
they
it,
look
yeah.
good.
Well, if you buy an outfit, you can be a cowboy too.
That's
I'll tell you what, I couldn't be a cowboy, but I got 3 pair of boots in the house. I got 2 dusters, got 2 hats. I got a couple of gun belts. I got some old style Western ones. I got some more modern ones that look like come right out of war zone somewhere.
what do you
Like,
mean? You have the Buscadero rigs?
yeah, we got a couple. So this is a weird thing. A friend of mine was doing television down in Mexico. He comes home to see me one day. He brings me these 2 sombreros. I mean, the things are like this big, man. He said, these are thick. He said, that's why he nap under them. I'm like, dude, they give you like a whiplash. But when he did, he had, he brought like these 7 belts. I'd have to show you a picture of them, but they're definitely old, very authentic. Looks like whoever made them, you know, did the belts are like double or triple thick, and then they went through and etched everything out by hand. And there's a lot of like, looks like Mexican or maybe in Native American figures on them, along with horses. And then one of the belts actually is painted, so there's 2 Palomino ponies on it.
That's
It's
the cheap Mexican belts.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, I was like, because I had never seen a painted belt before. I was like, what the is this, man? I was like,
Mexicans do some wonderful, wonderful work. I had one guy.
they got great carving. Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, he made saddles for me. Absolutely gorgeous, great saddles. He died 6 months after he stopped making saddles. And I knew he was older than me, but it turned out he was 107.
Ooh, man.
He was
Where's that
106 and a half and still making saddles.
But that's the way you stay
and-
alive, stay busy.
And I've got 12 saddles that he made for me over the years.
Yeah.
Plus bridles and things. So they make wonderful spurs and bits. There's a town called Amazoc outside, maybe an hour, 2 hours outside of Mexico City. That's the whole town. That's all they do is make spurs and bits. So I would go down to, I would fly down to Mexico City. I don't go there anymore, but I would fly down to Mexico City, and I had my interpreter, and I would buy all of the stuff and then bring it back on the plane, which always drove people crazy because you got a bag full of spurs. You have no clothes. You have no suitcase. No, but I've got bags full of spurs.
You know, but people don't realize how much all that stuff's worth. When I quit riding in my 30s, mainly because I was having kids and grandkids and great grandkids.
The gun belts are terrible, though. They're carved. I call them the $15 gun belts that you find
because that's what they look
in the
like.
tomahawk shops.
Because they got like the generic faces and the generic
Well,
hands.
they're just, it's made out of cheap leather,
yeah.
and they make it, and it's really for the tourist shops
No,
in towns
no,
like Deadwood or Dodge City, and they'll sell them for $30 for a gun.
4 of the ones I have are they're like stacked, so the damn belt itself is like this. I mean, it's thick and it's like,
Well, yeah, a lot of your old
like-
belts were 2
it's
inches.
like they're like overlapping layers or something. Whatever, they're great belts. They're a little bulky, a little heavy, but especially if you're carrying an old school gun on. A lot of my modern guns are light, but I got a couple of revolvers that are kind of on the heavy side. I got a 50 cal that feels like it weighs. I know it's not that heavy, but it feels like it weighs like 5.
I don't have anything modern.
It's I got both. I like so depending on what I'm doing, because I spend a lot of time on the road. Like, see, I like I fly when I have to because some places I have to be there at certain times. But most of the time I drive cross country. Like when I'm
No,
lecturing out, and
I just leave
sit in the
earlier.
car.
That's all.
Yeah, I like that because then Ole likes we get out in the car and we just explore our way across the country. And I found some really fun places, some really good food. Got to see a lot of sights I would have never seen otherwise because you fly over them, you don't see them.
Right.
And
I don't take a map with me. I don't take a watch or anything. I don't know.
No, I just
I
take
just
the
say, hey,
wife.
if I'm going east, if I hit the ocean, I've gone far enough.
Yeah, so I just get the wife. She says,
And I
go
take the
that
back
way.
roads.
Yeah, we take a lot of back roads. Sometimes
I've never been lost. I've been
Well,
powerfully
there's no such
confused for days, but
yes,
I've never
yes.
been lost.
Yeah, I've never. I'm with you on that. You just keep going to. Well, you see, and I live in places like You can't go any further south than what we are, so you're kind of stuck. Now you go north for quite.
Are
a
you
little
in
way.
Alabama or Mississippi?
I'm in Mississippi right now. I'm on a place called Henderson Point. Past Christiana.
Again, I was having a problem one time when I asked somebody. I said, "How do you spell Mississippi?" And they said, "The river or the state."
Because they're idiots. That's why. Mississippi's been a weird place because when I was a kid, this place was so backwards. I mean, racist, hateful, spiteful, nasty place. Nowadays, racism from the middle of state down doesn't even exist. Everybody's well behaved, well nice. Everybody gets along well. They went from 50th in elementary school reading to 4th. I mean, that's insane. They've changed the way they're doing things. They're bringing all this money in. All these companies said, "Look, we'll bring our stuff to your state because you don't even have income state tax there. We'll bring our stuff there, but your population isn't educated enough for a lot of these jobs." So they got with those companies along with the casinos and started a fund so they can educate the population. So yeah, they're expecting us to be somewhere third or fourth. And like I said, where John lives to where I live, the difference in price is 36%. And just gas, he pays.
Well, that's where Peter lives too. He lives here in Southern California.
For you too, then. So the cost of living here is 36% cheaper than it is where you live. That's ridiculous.
Probably.
That shouldn't even be like
Probably,
that. No,
yeah.
we track them across the country. So like for New York, it's about 27% cheaper to live here.
Well, the first time I ever had Popeye chicken was in Jackson, Mississippi.
Was it? Oh, and you're still alive? You was in Jackson and you're still alive? Damn, man, you brave.
And I cut, 10, 12 years, 18, 20, 15, 16, 15. I got one of my best dogs in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah. They got a lot of good food up there.
Dog actually came out of New Orleans.
Yeah.
There was a 10-year anniversary of the hurricane that destroyed everything. Whatever that hurricane was.
There's been a lot.
And my cousin is a dog trainer, rescuer, and she went down to New Orleans, and then I lost my dog that I had for years, and she sent me a picture of this other dog, looked just like him. She said it's 3 years old. It's in a shelter. Nobody wants it. And I looked at the dog. I said, "I'll take it." So I said, I'll drive there. And she says, "Well, meet me in Jackson, Mississippi." So she brought him up to Jackson, Mississippi. And then both of us drove back out to LA. And
it's a nice job. I've driven LA a couple of times. If I drive like a normal person and just don't visit a bunch of places, it takes me about 4 days. If I drive like a maniac, I can get there in a day and a half. But if I'm out having fun, it'll take me about 7 days to get there, 8 days.
I'm going to Kanab, and they said Kanab is about 7 hours for me. But I look at it, it's 2 days.
Yeah, because
so they want me there on Wednesday night. I will leave here on Tuesday. And I'll stop when I first get to Arizona. I'm dealing with a friend of mine who's actually my armorer on shows. And I'm dealing with him, and I'll probably spend the night over at his place. And the next morning I'll drive to through the Grand Canyon, through Williams, through Page, and then up to Kanab.
Yeah, I was going to say, so like anybody listening here right now, because the reason why we booked this show is to promote people to also come to the Wild West Fest. And we got Peter on here this is one of the folks you're going to be able to see there as a celebrity, to be able to meet, chat, get photos with. And you're going to be at that one event Sunday night too, or Saturday night rather, where they have the slubs, the dinner. So you're and one of the events that you're going to be a special guest of. We at Galaxy Press are sponsoring that one there. And like I said, we have this show here. We wanted, because Buck's been a friend for, 15, 20 years now. And so I used to go to his events that he used to have in near Phoenix. We used to do those all the time. And so anyways, we're all anxious to be there. But anybody that's interested, you'll be able to meet Peter. And you've done so many movies. Like I said, we were just talking about Tombstone, but you've done a lot more as well. But you'll be able to meet Peter out there and just.
Yes, and we'll have pictures, and we'll have books, and we'll have things to promote. Thursday night is they're going to screen Tombstone.
Yeah.
And they have a Q&A, question and answer with me. because a lot of people don't realize everything that I did on Tombstone.
Well, I didn't know that until you just started talking a few minutes ago.
Yeah, no, I did all of that stuff on there and worked with Kevin for a year. If you've heard stories about it, everybody's lines got taken away. Everybody's parts got, I have so many stories on that because Kevin got fired. He was the president. The director of a movie is the president. I was his cabinet. What happens to the cabinet? They just said, and there's so many stories. When Cosmatos came in as the new director, I would come up with ideas. I'd say, "Hey, George, listen, we're on a manhunt here. We're off killing the bad guys. We're off killing the cowboys." I said, "We have guns. We should be cleaning the guns. They're my guns. I supplied them for the movie. Let me clean the gun." "Hey, that's a good idea. That's a good idea." We'd come back from lunch and they'd have somebody else cleaning the guns. He said, "What? No, we don't." "Oh, wait, Peter, move a little bit to the left. Come on, you're still in the frame. Get out of here." One of the things that I did when I did Wild West shows, and I've done hundreds of them. We went to China for 3 months and did 144 Wild West shows in there, shooting off horseback. And so one of the things that I did was, I can throw you a gun. I don't care if you're 5 feet away, 20 feet away, 30 feet away. I will throw you a gun. It will flip in the air, and you'll be, if you can catch a baseball, you'll catch that gun by the handle and be ready to fire. So I said to the director, I said, "Hey, I have 2 guns." I said, Buck Taylor, who's at Turkey Creek, he has 1 gun. So what happens if he runs out of ammunition? And I throw Buck the gun and I show him. And I had Buck and we practiced it first, and then I threw it. And the director goes, "Hey, that's a good idea. That's a good." We break for lunch. We come back from lunch. Watch the scene. It's Kurt throwing the gun to Val. That's it. Because one thing I learned from that is the stars of today, we need coverage, which is close-ups. We need close-ups on us. If you look at it, you'll see a close-up of Kurt, and it'll be there. You'll see a close-up of anybody else, and they'll be here. Because, and you've heard a story that he ghost directed the movie. And he did. He did a great job, but they couldn't butcher the script so that it didn't achieve what it did. The other thing is, and that a lot of people don't realize it, when Tombstone was made, we had a $25 million budget. It grossed $75 million at first run. All the other shows, Wyatt Earp, Geronimo, Quick and the Dead, they were all at $50 million, $75 million budgets. They grossed $18 million because we had the people who watched it. And I'm going to break my arm patting myself on the back, but all the stuff that I put in the movie elevated it to a different type of movie. I'm in with a producer one time, and he's talking to me, and he goes, "Who cares about authenticity? Nobody cares about that. They want to see the story." And I said, "You're absolutely." He said, "Who knows? What, 1% of the people?" And I said, "Yep, 1% know." I said, "But we have 330 million people in this country. 1% is 3.3 million people. If they go to see your movie and spend $10, you just made $33 million. His eyes lit up. Ooh, that makes sense. That's why all those other Westerns made $18 million. The diehards went to see it once, and they didn't want to go see it again. And then the word of mouth gets out, and so the other people, I'm not going to go watch it. It's
I
not.
prefer the authenticity myself. So.
I wanted to do Geronimo. John Milius wrote the original script. He was going to direct it. And I was going to do everything on Geronimo like I did on Tombstone. And so I designed everything. Now, the character that Robert Duvall played, it was, I researched him. I researched the person. He had an 1873 Winchester rifle, and he had a 5.5-inch single-action Colt. I went out and I bought an 1873 rifle made in 1881, and the Colt was made in 1885. These 2 guns were original at the time of 1886 when when the movie's supposed to take place.
Yeah.
He would have had those original guns. If you look at the movie, he's carrying an Italian-made 1866 Winchester carbine, because the prop guy who they hired for that, and they didn't hire. I went in for a meeting with the producers and director, and they sat there talking to me, but they were going to film in August of '93, and we were doing Tombstone starting in May. I said, I'm already signed on to Tombstone. I'm already doing that. I said, I can come in after we wrap and work, but I can have one of my guys come in and do that. And they looked at me and they said, no, if you're not going to do it, then we don't want you. So
people
that's
like
why I paid $18 million. The people that you deal with the line producers, you deal with these guys, they don't know. They know their job, but they don't know. So when there was a Robert Urich did the pilot, I think a couple of episodes of a TV series before he died. So they send me the pilot. I look at it, boom, boom, boom. And it's Frank and Jesse James are robbing a bank. I go in for a meeting with the line producer. And I said, okay, I don't know what year this is. What year is it? Is it 1869? Is it 1876? Is it 1879? Because I will put the exact gun belts and guns that Frank and Jesse James had at that time period. And he looked at me and he said, what are you talking about? Jesse James is a fictional character.
Really?
That's what he believes.
Oh my
That's
God.
That's Hollywood.
That is Hollywood, because they don't care. I just had my Wrangler working on a movie. Ang Lee is directing it. Ang Lee did a couple of Westerns before, Ride with the Devil, and which, had a lot of good authentic stuff in it. It's 1850s California Gold Rush. The head wrangler, who is actually my neighbor, I could throw a rock and hit his place, hit one of his horses. He could throw a rock and hit one of my horses. Yeah, he's doing the horses on it and the saddles. He's using modern roping saddles. And my wrangler, Jerry, he said to him, he goes, Peter lives right next door to you. He goes, he's got all the period saddles. Why don't you just go get them from him? And he goes, I don't like those saddles. They don't fit horses, and I like mine. He wanted to save money. He wanted to make money on renting them modern saddles.
Yeah.
And telling the director, those are period. Those are great. Those are great saddles. And then he said, the actors are running around with rubber 1873 Colts. It's 1851 in California. These didn't exist, but they don't care. One of the big problems, a lot of shows are using rubber guns now or phony guns because of what happened to Baldwin. That's why they asked me to write the book on how to be safe on a set. And I did.
Yeah.
And I always say this is what I say to people. I say, well, you can hire the guy who read the book. You can hire the guy who wrote the book. Right. Your choice.
There you go. So I know we're getting close to the end of the show here. So I just wanted to make sure that people, so the Wild Western Festival, is it still on the Caravan here? Or you moved on here, Joe, on the Author's Quill? So you're Caravan West Productions.com.
Yeah.
Okay, that's yourself. And then we got the Wild West Festival. That's Little Hollywood WildWestFest.com. That's where you can find out about the festival coming up in a couple of weeks. And that's where
and all the people that are coming out there. And
yeah.
And
then we're going to be there, like I said, as one of the sponsors. And that's where we got the 90th anniversary. You showed all your books earlier on, but these are some of the Westerns. We've got a whole table full.
You got a whole bunch of them?
We got a whole bunch of them. Yeah. So.
All right. You'll get sucker me into buying some.
Well, that works for me. So, but they're like, one thing that's nice is they're short stories. So they're not the big novels, they're short stories. So you can read some of them, and they're all over the place, but there are a lot of them is that 1870s, 1860s period. Some of it easier, but he wrote a lot of alternate history stuff. So he take a true piece of facts, like the cyanide mining, or the one we're doing this weekend as a radio theater, The Toughest Ranger, about the Arizona Rangers. He took these things and then wrote stories off them, but they're like short stories. So you can read them easily in a couple of hours. And we got the audiobooks as well, which are done like old time radio theater. And that's where Marty Cove and Bruce Boxleitner did several of our stories as actors in them. And So, and Judy Norton has been in them. Judy Norton Taylor, you probably know her too from. She's done all kinds of stuff. She was on Little House on the Prairie, but then a lot of stuff since then. But anyway, so here we got, there's Peter's right there on second from the right up on the top. So
I
he'll
see
be
that.
there.
Yeah, with Wyatt, Rudy.
Yeah.
You know,
And you'll be at the dinner. Everybody can buy tickets out to join you for
I
the
know
dinner.
all these guys.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. And then you mentioned Arizona Rangers. I have a great story to tell you on that. Back in the early, like 81, 82, I met an original Arizona Ranger.
Wow. One of the 13?
He was over
Wow.
100 years old. And I met him in Yuma, Arizona. We're talking. And I asked him, I said, what was it like in 1906 being a Ranger? How did you do? What happened when you went into town? And he gave me the best line I've ever heard. I said, I got to put this in a movie someday. He said, when I rode into town, I was the first person they looked for and the last one they wanted to see.
Whoa.
And I said, well, I know some people like that too, because I know their stuff on them. And if they go, oh, Peter's here, let's get out of here.
Run for the hills, baby. But I know it's being that we got to get out here ourselves.
I'm the first person they look for and the last one they want to see. Do you remember?
Yeah. That was the 13.
Well, that's good because, especially if you know which book is it was with the Arizona Ranger. That
Yeah.
I'd only buy because we have a documentary series that I was approached on to do one on the Arizona Rangers.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's
Be good.
I'll make sure I'll have one there and have it specially tied with a nice bow on it saying Peter.
As long as there's not an arrow included.
No arrows there, just a straight.
Okay, you can have the bow, but no arrow.
Exactly. All right. Well, it's very, very nice meeting you. And I look forward to meeting you. My wife is looking forward to meeting you as well when we come out there in a couple of
Good,
weeks.
and you obviously you'll be there. Joe, you
Absolutely.
will be there? You won't join us?
Oh no, I wish I could. They
You
got
could,
me-
of course you can.
They
What's
got,
holding you back? Only you.
Other prior commitments is what's holding me back. But I got people who book me without telling me, which is always fun. It's what it is a couple people always want to help me get places. I'm like, calm down, people. When I want to go, I go. They're like, no, we haven't seen you lately. Why don't you go here? Why don't you go there? So I give in eventually. It's what happens. I just say to hell with it. Let's go.
Well, all I can say is it's
plus
always
take it.
fun. It's always fun doing a podcast and talking to people. And John, it's great meeting you. Seeing what you're doing and this. And
Well, let me know if you ever.
I don't know if I'll be available next year for the Western Writers Convention, but I don't even know where
It's in Nevada. It's in
In Elko,
no, it's in
Reno.
just
Or
outside
Vegas.
of Reno.
It's
Just
only
outside of
places
it's just
in
right
Nevada.
outside of Reno, and it's one of the saloons of note. There is the Bucket of Blood
Not Virginia
Saloon.
City.
Virginia City, yes,
Is Virginia City?
yeah.
I might go there. I go to Virginia City at least 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah, so we'll be there, and it's we're anxious to see the Bucket of Blood Saloon because that's one of the saloons that's in one of the Hubbard stories there. That
Really? Okay.
yeah, and Marty Coase loves talking about the Bucket of Blood Saloon. So it's a lot of fun there.
Well, good. Well, let me
I'll
Make
make sure that we let you know on that
see
stuff.
that book is out there too.
Okay, good.
Again, I go to the Bucket of Blood Saloon.
Yeah, okay, good.
I hold court there and tell stories.
Okay, good. Well, I'll be seeing you there then, and be
too.
one of your people there to chat with you and share a beer or two,
At least.
at least.
Guys and girls, we got to get out of here because I got to still got another show to do. But look, if y'all out west, go visit the guys out there. What date is it again? I know it's like 18 days from now or something.
It's 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Of
And
September,
12th.
yeah.
September, yeah. So if you're out west, or you just like driving cross country,
I don't
like
have
we
a
do,
calendar in front of me, so I don't know.
Yeah,
hop your butt out in your car, hop on a plane, go out and hang out, spend the weekend.
Yeah.
It's beautiful country out there, so go enjoy yourselves. But anyway, on that note, we got to
Just
go.
get your bottle of whiskey before you go to Nevada.
Oh,
Last time I was in Kanab, I was there with Frank Stallone and Bobby Vincent, Cowboy Bob, and we went to the Grand Canyon. We were scouting locations for a movie. So we were scouting up in Kanab. And then, of course, we wanted to have a drink. So we had to drive back to Arizona across the border. Well, I was driving back, and there was a Utah cop right there at the border, and he followed me all the way into Kanab. Make sure I didn't do anything wrong. Followed me right to the hotel. And yeah. So this guy's.
I find them Utah cops. Look, I have blown by them out there 85 miles an hour. I've seen their car do this, and I didn't even look up. I was like, what the hell place am I? We were leaving, matter of fact, we were leaving Moab 2 years ago. I mean, I'm flying. I'm probably doing close to 100. So there's a little place you catch interstate down there, headed down to Salt Lake City. So I pop on interstate. I'm cruising. I look down at the speedometer. I'm doing about 92. I look up, and there's a trooper somewhere. I said, well, I'm going to jail. I go by, my wife goes, his car did this. I said, he didn't even look up. He looked like he was asleep. His radar stupid was going beep, beep,
Yeah,
beep.
when I get pulled over, which I do a lot, can you imagine driving to Oklahoma or Mississippi?
Oh,
In
man.
the middle of the night, and you got California plates.
Yeah.
I tell you
Lights
what
out.
plate.
Come
Yeah,
on.
well, you're right. You're right. So the only plate worse than the California plate, actually, there's two worse.
But
New York plate.
I always keep pictures and my books on the front seat.
It's a good idea.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
last
And
time,
I'll ask the trooper, the highway, whatever. I said, "What's your favorite Western?" And so many of them will say, "Well, Tombstone." I said, "You don't know who I am." And all of a sudden, now I'm signing autographs to them.
hey, it makes it better, baby. It makes it better. Anything
As long as
crazy,
one of them is that ticket that you're signing.
That's
right.
it. As long as it's not a ticket. No.
Them tickets
Yeah,
are
one guy
expensive.
did for me, and he brought a ticket book out. And he said, "Could you sign this?" And I said, "You give me a ticket?" And he said, No. I just want your order." I said, "I'll do better than that. Here's a picture." "Oh, thank you." Yeah.
We'll hook you up. Anyway, guys, we're going to go. Thanks for hanging us out with us, Peter. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to remember, the chat will be on in about 45 minutes. The boys are a little crazy tonight. Got a couple of people stopping by, so be sure to check them out. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the chat is not for the lighthearted. It's there's no restrictions on that show whatsoever on anything. No topic restrictions, no language restrictions. So I always like to warn people before you come there, because John curses a lot, man. I mean, Jesus.
Joe,
He's like every third word, F this, F that, F this.
Joe, you're setting a bad example for our guest, Peter.
Anyway, guys, we got to get out of here. So I want to thank everyone again for tuning in to United Public Radio and the Authors Quill. I hope you enjoyed the show. Of course, if you didn't, you can always write to uprnradio at gmail.com. Address it to Michelle DeRoche, because she is the big boss around here, with the exception of me. So, and she likes to write back to people. Yes. So on that note, stay tuned for the next show. Good afternoon, everybody.